Good afternoon, soccer fans. We're coming to you live from Salem College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. My name is Mike Pettaway, and my commentator today is Richie Hutchins, a goalkeeper for Salem. Welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
We try to get expert commentators, and you're the one the coach nominated. I know the reason you'd rather be on the other side of the field getting ready to play, but you have an injury. Tell us about that.
Just started running on it, and I couldn't stand the pain of walking. Eventually just decided that it was time to put a boot on, and I'm out.
Are you out for the whole season now?
I'm not sure right now. I'll find out tomorrow.
Wow. Now, you were a goalkeeper for the Spirits.
Yes.
And I know the last game we did against Johnson University, you didn't really get a lot of action, but you had some game time. There wasn't a whole lot of shots going your way, was there?
No.
And I suppose you want to win games, but as a player, it's probably fun to be able to stop a few shots, I suppose.
Yeah, I stopped a few, but I'd like to have stopped more.
Yeah. Maybe
looked a little better.
I know that game got out of hand very quickly. I think Salem had 9 goals in the first half, so that it was definitely a runaway game. And I think everybody in uniform got some playing time, and that's one thing Jay does. He doesn't try to run the score up. Sometimes you can't help but score, I guess, when the other team's defense is kind of weak. You just can't help it. So, but it was fun to watch, and I've been here. I think this is our 4th game, and when I first met Jay, he talked about his soccer program. I started investigating some of the history of the program, and I can see why kids want to come play here, because this is a very good soccer program.
It is. It really is. I know that the other freshman goalkeeper, Sarah Slates, came because of the soccer program.
And Paige Ketchum, I guess is she a senior?
She's a junior.
She's a junior. I know he has a lot of first-year players, too. It's like he keeps rebuilding this program, and you have probably almost 30 kids in uniform on any given day. And, that says volumes about what this program is and how competitive it's been. I know Jay wants to go to the next level and make some noise in the NCAA tournament. Which,
definitely.
That's when you get to that point, you know you're good, because those teams like Lynchburg came in here and just really, they're good.
Oh,
just put it very simply.
Number 3 in the nation.
Yeah, number 3 in the nation. They know how to play the game. But we are getting ready to have a game against AGNES Scott, and I know that it's a conference game, and we're going to be I think we beat them 5-0 down in Decatur, Georgia, about 2 to 3 weeks ago. What do you you were at that game? How did AGNES Scott look? Do you think it's going to be a similar situation today? Are we a little bit over talented or compared to them? Or what do you think?
Soccer is one of those things where anybody can win on any given day. It depends on who wants it more.
Because it only takes, like you get a fluke shot that goes in, and all of a sudden it demoralizes the other team. And we always say when you play in athletics, when you play a team that you should beat, the longer you leave them in the game, the more chance you got they're going to beat you. So I'm sure the kids are going to be. How did Jay? How did practice go the last few days? Is he really focusing on this conference game?
He really has. Yesterday we did a lot of shooting drills, and then we've been working on fitness this entire week to make sure we were ready for this game.
Now, are you going to be okay sitting over here watching your teammates play?
It's going to be hard not to, cheer and yell and stuff, but I can.
We're going to pause just a minute for the national anthem. My photographer looks at me and tells me to stand up, so we're going to stand up and take my hat off.
The twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
There you have the national anthem before the opening kickoff here between the Agnes Scotties and your Salem College Spirits. Right now, I think Salem is it 2-0 in the conference? And because we beat Agnes Scott, and who else we beat in the conference?
Wesleyan, Georgia.
Okay. Here's a copy of two rosters, one for Agnes Scott and one for the one that has your name on it. That would be the Salem roster. Again, we're joined here for the Salem College soccer matchup, and my play-by-play or color commentator is Richie Hutchins, who is a goalkeeper for Salem, who is on the injured reserve, I guess we call it, with a leg issue. So she agreed. I don't know if she agreed or she. The coach said she was going to come over and do the commentary, and she agreed to do it. So, and she comes all the way from Jasper, Georgia. Where is Jasper, Georgia?
About 60 miles north of Atlanta.
Okay. And how did you find out about Salem College?
Jay kept emailing me saying, "Hey, we have a great soccer program. You should check it out." And I came to the school, toured it, and fell in love. So,
did he see you play in some showcase tournaments? Is that how he, or did he just know about you from your high school coach?
I think he knew about me from a website called College and Soccer.
Okay, so he went and just by that he knew that you were something he was looking for.
I guess. I mean, I ended up here, so hopefully.
Do you enjoy it at Salem College?
I do. I really do enjoy this school.
It's a nice small school, and do you like Winston-Salem?
I love Winston.
Yeah, it's a great city.
It really is.
It has a lot of good things going on, and we certainly are enjoying our time doing these Salem College games. We're also going to do the Salem College basketball games on the air and the softball in the spring if everything goes well. Looks like in goal today we have Paige Ketchum for the Salem Spirits, and the game is underway with Salem. They've got their I think you guys call them the bumblebee shirts, and it's hard to read the numbers of those shirts. But
yeah,
even for at least for an old person, is maybe you got better eyes than I got. Again, the game is underway with Agnes Scott trying to make a move down on their end, on the Salem's end of the field, but it is stopped by Heather Huffman, who is the fastest player that probably ever played here at Salem College. Oh, that was a kick trying to get it back up the field. It went out of bounds. That was number 11, Sydney Priest, with the kick that went out on the side. So it'll be a throw-in for Agnes Scott right around the midfield mark. They're going to be throwing it in. Looks like number 4 for Agnes Scott is Catherine Pratt. Will be throwing in. Throws it down the line.
And it's still in, and no one's there. And the ball's taken by Taylor Norman.
That goes off the Taylor did a good job, and he kicked it off number 21 for, that's Aaron Ennis from Agnes Scott. Went over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Salem. The kick will be taken by Morgan Canepa. Okay, we butchered these names throughout the year, and we apologize for that, but we know it's Morgan, and so she'll be taking the goal kick for Salem here with play just underway in beautiful Winston-Salem. It's a great day to be outdoors today, isn't it, Richie?
It really is. It's a great weekend for family weekend.
Yep. It is senior day here at Salem. I'm sure they'll be having a ceremony sometime during the day for the seniors. Ball goes down to Agnes Scott's end of the field. There's a pass out to the side that is taken by Summerrich. And our vantage point is, we talked about this the other game, we can't really see down that far end of the corner, so we know there's some action going on because we see everybody going that way. I think there's probably a throw-in.
Yeah, it was a Agnes Scott throw-in.
And it's controlled by Salem down in the corner. Taryn Johnson down on the inline. Great move by the goalkeeper for Agnes Scott. That ball was free rolling down the inline, and she came out of the net, jumped on it, and did what you usually do, and that's keep it from going in the net. Looks like Agnes Scott's having a little bit of problem penetrating the defense. They're getting it up, can't get it past midfield. Oh, we got an extra player on the field. He's
He looks like he could play.
yeah, he looks like he's about twice as tall as a soccer ball, but he's having fun running around. His dad goes out and scoops him right up off the grass. Great, that was a great play by Dad. Now we have a goal kick coming back this way with the Agnes Scott keeper. A low kick that is going to be probably rolls freely down to a defender, and it's headed back the other direction. No one is down the field for Agnes Scott, so there's no chance of any kind of a shot going off. It's a nice ball in the corner. Going to go over the inline.
Be an Agnes Scott goal kick.
Another goal kick. Kick comes down to midfield. It's initially taken by Agnes Scott. They do have the possession of the ball going down the right sideline, number 14 for Agnes Scott.
And Salem player.
Salem boots it back out to midfield, clears it out. Summer Rich down the right side. Nice pass. Oh, I don't think that was a foul. Maybe, now they call a foul after the fact.
They called a foul.
I think she was leaning backwards, and the other player was holding her up, and when she moved, she fell. And it's a great. Here's a great opportunity for Salem. Free kick, probably
right outside the box.
Right outside the box, and they've got Agnes Scott got their wall lined up, and they'll move them back to 10 yards. And looks like number 19 is going to take the free kick. Natalie Mojica, I believe. She's standing over the ball. Maybe we're going to have a trick play. She's not going to kick it. Right into the
wall.
To the right side of the wall. And now Agnes Scott breaks away with the ball over midfield. 3-on-2. Heather Huffman comes and uses her shoulder and gets position on the attacker and boots it out of bounds to be a throw-in for Agnes Scott. Stephanie Hicks will be throwing it in. That was, I don't think they had proper communication. She threw that ball right into a defender.
Right to Morgan.
Yep. Oop. Taylor Norman getting aggressive. Another ball just kicked down to the end of the field. No one down here to make any play on it. So Paige Ketchum will boot it back for Salem. 38 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the first half. We have no score between Agnes Scott and Salem in a Great South Athletic Conference matchup. Agnes Scott picks it up down in the left corner of the field, brings it back up to around midfield, but kicks it out of bounds. Throw in for Salem on their side of the field. Taryn Johnson trying to turn, and when she turned to kick it, the Agnes Scott defender put a foot on it, kicked it out of bounds. Another throw in for Salem. And it's saved by Mojica on the sideline. She's trying to get it centered. The defender kicks it. I thought it was going to go out of bounds, but it did not. Agnes Scott saves it down in the corner, kicks it right to a Salem player. And now they clear it out. But it's a 1-on-3, so it's not going to... Although we did kick it out, so Agnes Scott will have time to set up now and bring their team down this end of the field and a throw in. But they are having trouble getting through the defenders. They get just beyond midfield, and Salem just becomes aggressive and goes and takes it away. Now we have another throw in going to Agnes Scott, but the ball goes to a Salem defender, Morgan Canepa. Is that it?
Canepa.
Canepa. Okay, like a canopy, but it's Canepa.
Well, she's a sophomore. You've got 2 more years.
2 more years to learn that. Maybe I'll figure it out. That's the voice of Richie Hutchins, a goalkeeper who is helping out on the broadcast today because she is on the injured reserve list. Hopefully we'll be back in action before the season's over. Salem trying to move the ball down the field. It does go off a Scotty defender, so it'll be a throw-in just beyond midfield. And the whistle blows for... They stop the action momentarily. Now they're going to have to throw in with Salem throwing the ball in. They're not able to get anything really, any kind of attack mounted. It's a lot of play in the middle of the field right now, both ways.
Salem is having a hard time getting past the AGNES defense.
Taylor Norman kicks it to the corner, hoping that Mojica can catch up to it. She's kind of a weak kick into the front of the goal, and Jordan Lanier tried to left-foot it in, but she had a defender between her and the goal, and the keeper came out and did her job, covered it up, and again, no score. 35 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And Salem, they're still having trouble getting, that was the closest they've gotten to any kind of a shot here in the first half. In a good position, but just sometime I guess if you're not left-footed, it's hard to put enough steam on a left-footed kick, and she didn't have a lot on that, so it about tried out.
And the defender on her did not make it any easier.
No. And that throw-in is headed right back out. Canepa will make the throw-in down, and is taken by Agnes Scott, number 14, who is?
Helen Somda.
Somda, okay. Summer Rich over to Mojica. Sawyer Ferguson, I think that is, down in the far corner. Centers it. Great. Oh, that was a good opportunity. Just that's twice we've had the ball right down, ready for a good shot on goal, but that one got away and was kicked out by the Salem player. So that's going to be a goal kick for Agnes Scott. 34 minutes to go, no score, which is a little bit unusual, I guess.
It's very unusual.
There's a great opportunity. That ball is loose in front of the net, but no one goes after it, and the Agnes Scott player gets it. Brings it down the far right side of the field. 3-on-2, 3-on-3 now. Ball goes out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for Salem. Another opportunity for Agnes Scott. They've got the ball in the center of the field. There's a kind of a weak crossing pass that was intercepted by a defender for Salem. Now Taylor Norman, she's held right there, no call. She got, be like a horse collar tackle in football. The gal had her up by the shoulder, and Taylor is strong enough to run through it, but
she lost the ball in the
she
process.
did. That should have been, I thought it maybe should have been a call, but
it looked like it.
So the ball is back down in the corner. It's going to be a throw-in for Salem. That's probably going to go out of bounds. It'll be another throw-in for Salem out at midfield. No score. The Spirits are having a little bit of trouble getting through this Agnes Scott defense. Taylor Norman looking to get someone in position. There's a pass down, not too hard. It goes over the end line to be a goal kick for Agnes Scott. Doesn't seem like the Salem players are getting in the right positions. I don't know if they're just, it's a Saturday afternoon game. I don't know if they're just not quite in it yet. But I know when they get it wound up, it can get pretty exciting. So we'll see if they can get things put together and maybe start attacking the goal a little bit better.
Well, usually after they score the first one, they start scoring more and more. The last time they played Agnes Scott, it took about 5 minutes for them to score.
And once you score, it kind of opens the floodgates, and everybody gets their, it's all about momentum, and they're excited and they're winning, and all of a sudden they keep doing it over and over. And that's, I'm sure Jay Callahan's waiting for that first goal to get his team started. But again, the ball is bounced around in midfield, and neither team able to do much with it. Now Agnes Scott's coming down on the attack. Number 14, kind of a weak pass out to the side, is headed back toward the other end by a Salem defender. Taylor Norman bringing it across midfield. She had a great idea. Jordan Lanier was breaking free down the right center of the field, but the ball was kicked back out by Agnes Scott. Taylor hits it down in the right corner again.
Taryn Johnson.
Taryn Johnson is trying to outrun the defender and get control of it. Throw in for Salem, I believe it is. To Taryn Johnson. She can't turn. She tries to kick it, and it goes over I guess it goes out of bounds. Another throw in to Norman. Ball's up in the air out in front of the goal. Someone needs to get ahead on it. Nice play by the keeper. So we're starting to get the ball in front of the net. We just can't complete the play and get a good hard shot on goal. Most of the saves that keeper's made have been fairly easy shots, not a lot of steam on them. So Salem needs to. Now they got a Agnes attack, but it's Heather Huffman takes the ball away, and we're back in midfield, kicking it back and forth in midfield. Huffman with a kick down toward the Agnes Scott goal, but it's again played back and forth in front of the box. I think we have a
offsides call, maybe.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The referee was waving her hand like might have been a foul against.
Oh no, Taryn Johnson was offsides, ran back onsides, and then offsides again.
Okay. See, that's why you're here, because you're an expert. But the free kick is awarded to Agnes Scott, and it comes down around midfield. Again, it was a kind of an errant kick. There's no one there, right to the Canepa, booted it back to midfield. We have a foul called against Salem again, right beyond the midfield circle. So free kick for Agnes Scott. Looks like can't see the number who's taking that kick. We will see.
That will
be number 4, Catherine Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Leesburg, Georgia. And it's cleared back out by Salem. Nice pass by Summer Rich out to Taryn Johnson down the left side. Some fancy footwork, I guess.
It's a great ball played by Natalie Mojica to Sawyer.
We're getting close, but we just don't have that final person in position. But that ball was placed right in front of the net. Goalie had an easy save on that. Sydney Priest boots it down. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Agnes Scott with 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Game moving along, but still no score. Our Saturday afternoon games, are they different than a 4 o'clock or a 5 o'clock game? How does the team approach that? I mean, on a Saturday, when you really, I don't know how many Saturday games you play, but, it's not like you've been to school all day and then you go play soccer.
Yeah, it's a little different. Friday night you can go out. It's not like you have classes the next morning. So I think that was Jay's biggest concern, was that we would be out all night.
Yeah. No, not young college girls. I can't believe that. There's a lot of places to go in Winston for sure. A lot of entertainment. So we have a throw-in or a corner kick. I guess it
is a free kick.
Free kick by
Morgan Canepa.
Canepa.
Sending it straight to the goal.
Beautiful.
Ooh, beautiful shot.
I mean, the keeper came out and made the save, but that ball was right on target. Again, that must be about 5 saves that keeper's had. So we're getting some opportunities. We're just not getting enough on the ball and not finishing off those attempts. Here's a breakaway for Agnes Scott down the right side. Priest is playing great defense. Here's a ball was centered, but no one's over here on this side of the field. It rolls across the sideline, and it'll be a throw-in for Summer Rich. Will be throwing it in for Salem to Heather Huffman. She turns. Nice defense by the Agnes Scott defender, number 13, Stephanie Hicks from Cartersville, Georgia. Again, throw in for Salem, and it's Heather Huffman throwing it to Taylor Norman, but it's actually taken by Agnes Scott. Looks like Agnes Scott's their entrance passes are a little bit too far ahead of their attackers, and Salem has plenty of time to respond and go up and kick it back the other end of the field.
Yeah.
They need a little bit more accurate passing, more crisp passing to their teammates. And I remember watching Lynchburg do that. They just, when they passed the ball, it was right at someone's feet with the same color uniform, and that just, it's hard to defend.
It really was. And I think that's what Salem has been trying to do since that game.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, we've done a pretty good job.
So another throw in for Agnes Scott. Maddie Shaw kicks it down intended for Helen Somda, but it is cleared out by Salem. Canepa, Priest, and Summer Rich are playing back on, where's that? Sawyer Ferguson. I can't tell that number across. That's Ferguson, number 9. Ball is being batted around at midfield. Someone hits the ground. They're going to call a foul against the Salem player. Number 11, was that Sydney Priest with that foul?
Yes, that was Sydney.
And be a free kick. Looks like I guess it's a free kick the other direction. They're going to award, they called a foul against, I think, Erin Ennis. Right,
Yeah, I think that happened before Sydney fouled her.
Right. So right at the midfield stripe, the free kick for Salem. Beautiful shot. And again,
Beautiful shot by Morgan.
That was right on target with the keeper. Now the keeper, and you know this real well because you're a keeper, but a lot of coaches tell you, be ready for the rebound because if she bounces the ball, just go right on it.
Oh, yeah.
And that one, she stopped it, but she let it bounce. And I know I've seen in some of the high school games I've done, I've seen teams score on that. The keeper makes a great play, but it's a little bit loose, and they put a foot on it. So that was Kylie Dillow with that kick down to the right corner beyond our vantage point. There's a pretty good crowd of fans here, as always, for Salem College Soccer. You guys have a pretty good following of. I know the parents all like to come out and watch these kids play. The Saturday afternoon kind of reminds me of back in the challenge soccer days, and when I used to go to a lot of games where even the elite teams where you'd have 10 or 12 fields that all have people all over them, everybody playing. Of course, that's how you become a college soccer player. Is when did you start playing soccer?
When I was 4.
See, has this been your only sport?
I played basketball and softball, but soccer was the only one that I stuck with.
Yeah, it shows when these girls here are playing. They really they've taken this game serious and obviously know a lot about soccer and do a great job. Yeah, it seems like Agnes Scott's having a little problem. Once they get the ball in midfield, there's no one there to help do anything with it, and Salem just turns around and takes it away and goes right back down the field. There's a kind of a weak shot that's taken back by Agnes Scott. Again, it's headed out by Agnes Scott. So it'll be a throw-in. I think we have a substitute for the Scotties. I can't.
Brooke Bucas is in for Summer Rich.
For Summer Rich. Okay, that is the only substitute I think that's being made. And the throw-in is controlled by Salem. Now it's kicked out into the tennis courts almost to the tennis courts, by the Agnes Scott defender. It's kind of a quiet game so far because the Spirits haven't put a ball in the net yet, but I think once they do, maybe the crowd would liven up. And we have 22 minutes to go before halftime, and still it's no score in the ball game. It's going to be a
Spirits corner
kick with Sydney Priest running over to the far corner. As a goalkeeper, do you dread these corner kicks if you're defending it?
Yes.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, yes. I mean, Taylor Norman has a tendency to just put her head on the ball and put it in the back of the net.
So here goes the Priest corner kick. Good location. Mojica has a chance, but she headed it over the back of the goal, so it's going to be a goal kick for Agnes Scott. But that ball was a little bit beyond the net, but it was a good placement. And again, it's no score for the Spirits. Taylor or Heather Huffman kicks it out. Goes off the defender. It'll be a throw in for Salem. Mojica at midfield. Sends it out to the side for Kylie Dillo. She gets a nice foot on it, but it is blocked by a defender from Agnes Scott down the left sideline. But again, the Spirits take over at midfield and head back toward the Agnes Scott goal. But this one is a shot that goes really wide, and the keeper had no trouble. Those are easy kind, right? When they just kind of stop rolling in front of you.
Yeah, those are the really easy ones.
Have you ever made a really dumb play where one gets by you, where you lose concentration for that split second and the ball just rolls across the goal?
Yeah.
I think all keepers can say they've done that.
It's very embarrassing.
Yeah, because you just kind of lose concentration and the ball just kind of dribbles up to you and goes right by you. Mojica tries to get the ball centered. It's kicked. Looks like it's out of bounds again for Agnes Scott. So there'll be a throw in with Sydney Priest attempting to throw in from right around midfield at the 20-minute mark here, and played 25 minutes to scoreless soccer. That's a little bit unusual for Salem.
It is very unusual.
Cleared out by Agnes Scott, but again, Heather Huffman's right on the ball to Mojica, over to Taylor Norman, and Taylor knows one direction to go, and that's toward the goal. Again, it's a weak pass into the box, but no one there to finish that play off. They actually called offsides on Salem, so I'm glad we didn't score because it would have been wiped out. Goal kick for not a goal kick, it's an offsides violation kick for Agnes. Comes down around midfield right into the foot of Mojica, and Taylor Norman looks upfield. Nice pass. It's probably going to be a little bit too far. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be throw in coming this way with Agnes Scott. We were at down at the Agnes Scott goal with Paige Ketchum having a lonely afternoon in the box today. Not a lot going on down here. I got to give a shout out. She's from Jacksonville, or from what she played at Jacksonville White Oak, and I'm from Richlands. Richlands beat White Oak in football last night, so everybody knows that. So here goes another chance for Salem. Number 24 is Brooke Bucas. It is Bucas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We struggled with that name for a while too, but
a lot of people do.
Matter of fact, we had a couple of players on the air the other day, and all they used was first names because they knew everybody. You know, Brooke has the ball. Taryn has the ball. You know, I'm like, they have last names? Yeah, they do. I'm beginning to learn some of the numbers and some of the players, but it's a little difficult. What we need to do is we need to build a big press box here at the field so we can be up in the air. That would be great.
That would be great.
Any millionaire donors out there that want to do that for Salem College, they would really appreciate it. So another goal kick coming up for Salem, for Agnes Scott. 17 minutes and 20 seconds. A substitution for Agnes, number 6. Courtney Moit is replacing number 21, Erin Ennis. I believe that's number 21. No, it's number 12. I got it backwards. Number 12 is who?
Sarah Fisher.
Sarah Fisher. She used to be a race car driver. So Agnes Scott will get looks like a free kick at midfield. You can hear their fans trying to cheer them on to maybe make some noise down on this end of the field. But again, Canepa clears it out for Salem. That was a kick by Catherine Pratt, but it was really not to anyone, so it was easily controlled by Salem. A lot of action around the circle today. Not much going on, and Agnes Scott makes the save, does kick it down toward the Salem goal, but it rolls out. It must have went off a Salem player, either Sydney Priest or
Kylie
Dillo. Both of those young ladies were over playing defense, and I'm not sure which one knocked it out. But they are going to award a throw-in to Agnes Scott. Eventually it'll throw in. There it is. Header back toward the other end of the field. Better clear that ball out of the box. It was right in front of the goal. It is cleared out to number 9, Sawyer Ferguson. She is double teamed, and the ball is kicked back this direction out of bounds. Heather Huffman will retrieve it, and I'm assuming have a throw in for Salem. Mojica trying to get control. She hits the ground. No foul on that play. Heather clears it out, but it does go out for a throw-in coming back. This is the first time we've seen this many players at this end of the field.
Yes, it is.
They're right in front of us with the throw-in for Agnes Scott. It's Catherine Pratt with the throw-in, and she throws it toward Erin Ennis.
Jordan Lanier clears it down the field.
Clears it to midfield, but there's a foul ball right into the stands.
Rachel Dodson kicks it off of Sawyer Ferguson for a Agnes throw-in, I believe.
Looks like Heather Huffman's got the ball, and she's going to throw it in for Salem. I don't know. I thought
it bounced off.
I thought it went off of one of our players, but and no one screaming and yelling, so everybody understands I guess that was the right call.
All right. Well, number 12, Casey McDaniel, is in for Sawyer Ferguson for the Spirits.
Sydney Priest makes a little contact. No call. Canepa clears it to midfield. To Brooke Bucas. And Mojica stops the ball at midfield over to Taylor Norman. Pass over to Bucas. I believe that's Bucas, or is that? Can't tell the number. I think it may have been Taryn Johnson.
I think it's Taryn Johnson.
Yeah, I couldn't see that. There was a 2 in front of it. Again, the keeper for Salem is standing way out with her hands on her hips watching the ball game, which is good for Salem that we're not getting bombarded by shots on goal. 12:56 to play and moving. Clock is moving with no score. Corner kick. Oh, that ball is loose. The keeper did drop that ball. We had 2 or 3 players that tried to put a foot on it, but
just could not put it in the back of the net.
But it was a golden opportunity of that ball rolling around free right out in front of the net. So it stays down in the far corner with Salem in control again, trying to center it. But it is cleared out. But again, Sydney Priest at midfield sends it back down with Taylor Norman's going to be called for a push, I believe, on that play. Taylor's a pretty aggressive player, isn't she? I mean, she goes after it. I like the way she plays soccer. I
love watching her play soccer.
And number 10, Joycelyn Evans, is she injured too, or is she playing?
Jocelyn is injured. She hopes to be back next week. Something's wrong with her knee.
I know she was all over the field at the games I've seen her play. Just really real pesky and very good defender. Mojica stops that attempt by Agnes Scott, goes back to midfield, headed the other direction. Bucas kicks it down the left sideline. She takes it herself all the way down, almost to the end line, but it is taken away by Agnes Scott. Number 11 for Agnes blocks or tries to stop a kick. That's Morgan, Hoel. Howell? Don't know. From Douglasville.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Douglasville, Georgia, first-year midfielder. It's going to be another corner kick for, I think Salem's had maybe 3 or 4 corner kicks. They've all been close, but they just can't seem to finish it up. It's going to be Sydney Priest running over to the far corner. So as a keeper, where do you try to line up on a corner kick?
I try to go 3/4 back from where the ball's being kicked because it's easier to run forward than backward.
Oh, another great opportunity that just misses the net. That was a perfectly played corner kick. It was one of our players put a foot on it, and on the rebound we tried to hit it back in, but it went up over the crossbar, so no damage. And 10 minutes to play here, no score still, which is highly unusual for a high-scoring team like Salem. Goal kick is going to be headed back by Taylor Norman. And Bucas puts a head on it and goes over the end line. Another goal kick for goal kick comes down around midfield, and it's controlled by, it's going to be taken away by Salem. Catherine Pratt tries to make a save. It goes out via throw-in right around midfield, and Jordan Lanier throws it down in the right corner. Again, pass was intercepted by Agnes Scott, and it's going to be another throw-in with. It's going to be a free kick. I didn't see a foul, but
I think Jordan might have elbowed her.
So Catherine Pratt with the free kick from just beyond midfield, a low kick that's controlled by Mojica, headed it back to midfield. This is again a good chance for Agnes Scott, but they take the ball back out to set up. That's just going to give the Salem defense a chance to get their defense set up. There's a block by Mojica, and she sends it downfield. Taryn Johnson, number 20, is running toward the right corner, and she runs out of our vision. There was some ahs going on, so something happened. Maybe another corner kick. Looks like they're lining up for either a corner kick or a free kick.
It is probably a throw-in.
Is it a throw-in?
Based on where they're standing.
Yep, yeah, I think it's probably a throw-in behind the stands. See, you know what it is just by watching the linemen on the field.
I can usually tell just by how we line up whether or not it's a corner.
I guess on a corner kick, everybody runs toward the net and lines up somewhere in the box. But on the throw-in, they were scattered out. So Salem again trying to. Now the ball gets away from Salem. There's a pass out to the right. Number 11 for. That's Morgan Hole for Agnes, but it's taken away. Taylor Norman over on the far side trying to take it away from Agnes Scott player, but number 7 for Agnes, Maudie Shaw, hits it up toward the. Oh, we had a whistle blow. We got a pushing call against Salem. So a free kick with 7 minutes to play in the first half, 0-0 score. Salem Spirits taking on the Agnes Scotties from Decatur, Georgia. Georgia's your part of the world, right?
Yeah.
There's a kick, perfectly located. Oh, it's going to go across the end line. Should be a goal kick. That was a dangerous kick.
That was very dangerous.
It bounced in the box, and we had two defenders, but number 6, Courtney Moit for Agnes, she couldn't get turned enough and get her foot on it, but she had a great opportunity to. If she'd got her left foot on that, it might have been a tough save for Paige Ketchum, but it does roll across the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for Salem. Nice kick, lands at midfield. Moika trying to control it. She does put her foot on it, but it does roll out of bounds. Should be a throw-in for it is going towards Salem. And if the referee didn't see that, we have 4 or 5 people pointing from Salem bench, so they get plenty of help when they don't see it. Now we have another foul on the Salem player. Looks like that might have been number 12, Casey McDaniel, first-year player from Gastonia. Taylor Norman goes down yet again on the ground, boots it down toward the right sideline. It goes out of bounds. Should be a throw-in for, like it's a Agnes throw-in. Nice play by Heather Huffman. She saw that pass coming to number 6, and she very quickly ran up and kicked it free to a teammate. Now Heather, again being double teamed, does try to turn on it, but she kicks it out of bounds. Throw in down on the on their end of the field. Here's the throw in. Moika with a great play, put a foot on it, but it does stay out of bounds for another throw in. Catherine Pratt is getting a lot of practice on throw-ins today. And Heather Huffman trying to take it away from Courtney Moit. And Heather with a great tackle. She now the player goes down, but Heather didn't make any contact with her. Mm-mm. She hit the ball.
She hit the ball.
And a lot of people yell because the player goes down, but what we got?
This is dangerous.
Right out in front of the net, we need to get the ball out. It's
right
going to be, they call offsides or
not sure. Maybe they called a foul because
something in the box happened there.
The AR does not have her flag up.
Yep, so it'll be a free kick for number 21, Canepa. Nice kick. Goes beyond midfield. Heather Huffman trying to take control. Courtney Moit with the ball. Now she passes it now. Heather Huffman again centers it with a nice save. Number 20 waiting for that pass, Taryn Johnson. No one's down there. That was a long kick that went nowhere. No one down there to do anything with it. I'm sure those are probably not the kind of kicks that Coach Callahan would like to see. But the keeper puts it down midfield. Mojica with a header. There's Bucas with some contact. They're going to call the Agnes player for coming up under the back when she came down, which is a normal call. When I guess when 2 people go up for the ball and one of them bends backwards and they hit the other person's back, they're going to call it.
Normally.
So they set up the wall with, looks like it's right outside the box from our vantage point. Number 21 is taking the free kick. Canepa. They have 4 Scotties in the wall here. Here's a whistle and a kick. Beautiful.
Ooh.
Oh, that went over the wall,
right over the goal,
and it was not very far over the goal. I mean, there was no way that goalie was going to save it if it did come in below the crossbar. But again, no goal, and the score remains 0-0 with only 2 minutes and 10 seconds before halftime. Bucas heads it back down toward the end line. It is saved by Agnes Scott. and they're in the area of the field where we cannot see what's going on, but we do know the ball is still down in Salem's area for the goal of Agnes Scott. Keeper takes a water break for just a second. Now she moves back over, ready for another attack by the Spirits. Oh, again, we got the ball out in front of the net, but nobody's there to... Mojica sends it back. It's headed across the field. Number 7 for... That's Maddie Shaw for Agnes, clears it out. And... Canepa clears it back for Salem. Mojica over to Dillo. Nice move down the sideline. Good. Kicks it down for, again, number 12, Casey McDaniel. She couldn't catch up to it. It was just a little bit beyond her speed. The clock is still running with 50 seconds to play in the first half and a 0-0 tie, which I'm a little bit surprised.
I'm very surprised.
Not to say that Agnes Scott's not a quality soccer team, but Salem is used to scoring. That's how they win a lot of games. They score a lot of goals. So that's going to go over the sideline out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Salem with 25 seconds. And Dillo is going to throw it in from the left sideline. Bucas with 10 seconds to go in the half. She does clear it down to the center. There's a long kick to... that's going to end the first half. That was an easy save for the keeper from Agnes Scott. So with no score in the first half here on Senior Day at Salem College, it's kind of, as Richie said, it's unusual. Now we're going to have a special guest we're going to talk to here. We're going to give you a break to get something cold to drink or hot to drink or whatever, and we have one of the parents from one of your players are going to sit in and entertain us for halftime. And she's going to introduce herself to the world. And your name is?
Natalie Gibble.
And you are from Beaufort.
Yes, sir.
Even though your daughter says it's Harker's Island, but it's really Beaufort.
Yes, we moved back to Beaufort after graduation in June. So.
And your daughter is injured, Lexi Clevenger.
Yes, sir.
She is a member of the Salem Spirits, a first-year defender. Now, what is her injury?
She has a torn quad.
Wow. And like you mentioned earlier there's a lot of injuries on Salem's team.
There are a lot of injuries right now.
So it's fortunate that they have such depth on their team.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of players they can put in that you don't really see any fall off at all. So that's why a coach likes to have 20 to 30 top quality players.
And with these girls, a lot of them can play anywhere. So that helps too when you've got depth and you've got girls that no matter where you put them, they can play. Mm-hmm. So,
now, when did your daughter start playing soccer? At what age?
She was 5 years old.
So you've probably been anywhere and everywhere with a soccer team with your daughter traveling all over the Southeast.
We have, and her high school team actually played for state title back in May at North Carolina State. So with playoffs, we were everywhere, but it was a great year. And
it's amazing too that when young athletes, what I call become a travel ball player, it's almost like it consumes your family. Your weekends are, you have to be dedicated, and your player has to be dedicated.
Yes, because
they're looking to play to the next level, and coaches can tell by watching a player if that player is worthy of coming to the next level. And Jay does a great job of analyzing talent.
He does,
and picking out the players that he wants in his program. And it seems like they all buy into his philosophy of coaching and his game style because, as you know, only 11 people are on the field.
Yep.
And you got to keep the other 20-something over there happy, you know.
That's right.
And I think he does a good job. Now, will your daughter be able to come back this year and play?
Yeah, and you may see her today. She I don't know if she'll play, how much she'll play, but he worked with her a little bit before the game and warmed that muscle. So you may see her today.
Now, when your daughter's on the field, you get pretty excited.
I do get very excited.
I love those parents who. It's what's great about.
I'm the yeller and the screamer.
Yeah, we have some of those, and I know I was telling Richie I've been to a lot of weekend classic tournaments and challenge tournaments, and the parents really get behind their kids and their kids' team, and it's fun. But it takes a lot of time for kids to play in that kind of sports.
It does.
Now you live in my neck of the woods. I was born in Onslow County, so I know right where you're from, and. Back when I was in school, we'd never heard of soccer, and all of a sudden, soccer has become really a growing sport in the United States.
It has.
And cities like Winston-Salem and Wilmington, they hold big tournaments. They have teams come in from all over the country. And, soccer is, even at the college level, there's a lot of great soccer players.
There's a lot of great soccer players.
And most of them started at 5 years old or whenever, and they just kept playing. And you said your daughter's high school team was in the state championship last year, which is for a team to go through the high school season, go through a very tough playoff system in the high school ranks, and to get to the championship game. Like I told one of the teams I covered, they lost in the championship game, and I said, well, just think of how many kids were not here playing in the state. Mm-hmm. And you were one of the 22 that was out there, and not everybody's going to win every game.
And for us, in our county, you're familiar with Carteret County. We have 3 high schools.
Mm-hmm.
Our high school, East Carteret, was the first to ever make it that far, boys or girls. So it was a big deal, and the community all over the county stood behind the girls, and everybody was excited. So,
and I know when high schools, when they get support of the local communities, not just the parents but the local businesses, and it must mean a lot to the athletes to know that they're representing not just themselves, but besides the school, they're representing their community, they're representing all these people that travel. I mean, you guys went all the way to Raleigh for the tournament, and that takes a lot of commitment on the part of the community and the fans, I think.
And we traveled in droves, so there was a bunch of us there. So
I know last year a basketball tournament game I did, it was Cherokee came in, and they're from out in the western part of the state, and they brought busloads of fans for a first round basketball tournament.
We from March to May, our boys basketball team played for a state title in Chapel Hill, and they played the regional finals in Fayetteville at Crown Coliseum, and the people at the Coliseum said they had never. We packed the house, and they said in all the history of it, the regionals being played there, they had never seen a crowd that big. So we stand behind our athletes. And
here in Salem College, which is a small school, now did your daughter, did she pick Salem because of the size of the school, or just did she want to play soccer and this was a school that?
Initially, she had not even considered a small school. She was, of course, thinking of State, Wilmington, Chapel Hill. And when we received the email from Jay last August, September, we came down. This weekend was a year ago that we came down. And as soon as we turned on the campus, she fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. And, she got to meet the girls, got to meet Jay and, the admissions office, and it was just great, and she was in love. So she knew after that weekend that Salem was going to be home for her. So she loves it here. And
there's something about a small school, the environment. You know everybody knows you, and the campus is not spread out throughout the whole city. It's concise. You know where everything is at.
Yep.
And I know I was telling people on air we're going to do the basketball season and the softball season, and to me, I think you get a smaller environment, just like a high school gym in basketball. You can't beat that when you got good support, and those fans are absolutely screaming their lungs out, and that's really what sports is all about.
And that's for Lexi coming in. Her high school, there were 550 kids total. There were 130 in her graduating class. And she's used to being a name and having that relationship with her teachers and administrators. So coming in here, we came last October and visited, and then we came back in February for scholarship weekend. Walked into the admissions office. We had been here one time, and they called me and Lexi by first name. You don't get that at a big school.
And see, that means a lot. I know it's like when you bank in a small town and you walk into the lobby, everybody knows your name, and you're not a number, you're a person. And that's what I get. I've talked to a few of the players here. We actually do a Monday night talk show on the air from a local restaurant, and that's how I got to know the Salem program. We had Jay come on with Taylor Norman, and we talked about soccer, and this is a well-kept secret in Winston-Salem and Salem's College. You don't see a lot of media publicity for the school.
No.
And we talked to Jay and said, we'll come out and do your games, and it's been fun. Some of the young ladies that I've talked to, they all love the school. They love the fact that it is small, and then the fact that you have a big city atmosphere just right down the road right here in Winston-Salem, and Winston-Salem, I think, has a lot to offer.
It does.
And besides, having other colleges in the city, but it gives these young ladies, and most of them, like when he goes out and recruits athletes, they come from all over.
Yes.
And this probably is a great education for these kids beyond the classroom.
Yes.
To go to a city because a lot of these kids, this is a real big city to them.
Yes. It's a big city to Lexi.
And sometimes kids have a little bit more of a challenge adjusting to that than other kids, but I think when you participate in athletics, it probably gives you a little bit of added incentive, and maybe you become more well-known around the campus because they know you play a sport. Not that they put you on a pedestal, but they know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's got to make these young ladies feel like they're welcome here at the school.
Yeah.
It makes it good. Now, we were talking to Richie about the ball game, and, of course, you're very familiar with Salem soccer. We're absolutely dumbfounded that the score is 0-0.
I am dumbfounded, too. Salem is dominating possession. The score should easily be 3-0 right now, easily.
They've had some great opportunities on corner kicks right out in front of the net, and they just can't finish that off,
No.
But I'm sure that's what Coach Callahan is stressing to them right now, is that, you can't play with the ball in the box and not do something with it. You got to score. So
and yesterday I got into town. They were practicing when I got here, so I came out to the field and watched, and I would say probably the last 20-30 minutes of practice, that's what they were working on, was finishing. So I'm sure he's not happy right now, but it's a numbers game, so they keep putting shots on frame, and eventually they're going to start falling. So, and
we were talking about during the broadcast how when Salem scores one goal, it usually opens the floodgates because things get rolling. And you got to give Agnes Scott credit. I mean, they came in here and they already been beaten 5-0 in the previous game. They're not just going to fall over and let Salem run over them. And I think they're playing a real good game.
They're playing some good defense.
They are. They're playing good defense, and their keeper is she's done a great job.
She's doing great. Yes.
And a lot of those balls where if you weren't paying attention, you could have got by her. But she's right. And the one that she dropped in front of her, I just knew that was going to be a score because we had two people we got a foot on it, but it didn't happen.
A thing too is their goalie is not tall.
No, I'm looking at her. I'm thinking, she's probably the shortest player on the team, but she does a great job.
She's doing some big jumps.
Yeah, she
needs to play basketball.
Yeah, maybe she does. But and our keeper Paige, she's kind of lonely down here because they're the ball's not been down. I think twice we saw like more than 7 players down here because they do a good job. Our midfielders control most teams. They control most games and they keep the ball down at the other end of the field. And this half we're going to be able to see hopefully the action down here because from our vantage point we're at the other end of the field where Salem will be attacking this goal. So hopefully they can come right out, put something on the board, relax, and start putting more goals on the board.
And I think they will. I think we'll see some goals this half. We were here last year. Agnes Scott last game. It was 0-0 until the last couple minutes, and Salem snuck one in on them. So.
Wow.
I'm hoping they do it earlier this year. That makes for a nerve-wracking game.
And we were talking on the air with Richie about this being a Saturday afternoon game. It's a little bit different because you didn't have class all day today. And she said maybe some of the girls may have went out and enjoyed themselves last night. And you never know when you show up at for a 2:00 Saturday game. Are you bringing your A game? Or is your mind on the game? Are you focused on what's at hand? And I'm sure Coach Callahan has probably talked to his blue in the face about come to the game ready to play.
Yeah, and I think too because they've already played and Salem did beat them 5-0 down at AGNES Scott. I think they might have come in a little lax and think, hey, we've already beat them once, we can beat them again, and
teams do that. It's not to put the other team down, but they're overconfident because it was more or less a pretty easy go the last time, so they're not going to challenge as well. They will play hard and they'll challenge you.
Yep.
So hopefully, in the second half,
and this is a big game. This is for a conference championship. So
and it means a lot.
It does.
And you want to go into the postseason tournament on a winning note as you finish up the season with 2 or 3 more games going with winning attitude. So when you come to the conference tournament, it just continues, and then you get to go to the NCAA. So,
and I think for the underclassmen too, you want to finish on a high note for your seniors.
Right.
So.
Yes, it is senior day here. Is the ceremony after the game, or is there a ceremony?
There'll be a ceremony after the game.
We were confused. We thought it was going to be before the game, but we went on the air right before kickoff, and we enjoyed the first half. But this is Salem College Broadcasting, so we're rooting for the home team.
That's right.
But I want to thank you for coming
me.
in, and it's always fun to. I don't get back to the coast very often, and when I see someone from that part of the state, I always love to talk to them because
you're missing out.
It kind of brings back memories of when I grew up out there, and just so I appreciate you stopping by, and good luck to your daughter, and maybe she'll get in this afternoon. And
maybe she will. You'll hear me screaming if she does.
Yeah, we'll point it out to the fans that
us parents, we're always smarter than the coaches. We always know more.
When I do football games, I'm on the sideline. I can hear all the people calling plays and firing coaches in the stands. Like it's so easy to sit up there and second guess what these people are paid to do.
But now, if you put me out there on the field, I wouldn't last a second. I'd be done. Yeah. Yes.
Well, we're just about ready to start, so I'm going to let Richie slide back in here and take your microphone.
All right,
if that's
sir.
okay with you.
That's fine with me.
And I appreciate you taking
you.
time out. It was fun, and good luck to you.
Thanks.
So we're getting ready to resume this game, second half, and Richie Hutchins is going to step back in with her bum leg, and she's going to get the microphone on. And we were talking to our halftime guest, and she was also saying that it's very unusual that Salem hasn't scored a goal.
Oh, it really
We're
is.
really, really shocked and surprised, and not to take anything from AGNES Scott, because they've created that problem with their defense. And so now we're going to see what kind of action we can get here in front of us with Salem coming in our end of the field. And right away they got the ball down here with Sawyer Ferguson trying to take it down to the left corner. She does. Puts it in front of the net. There's a header by
TJ.
Taryn Johnson. See, here you guys go with these nicknames.
Well, we had another Taryn Bundy,
Taryn Bundy,
but she unfortunately tore her ACL during practice.
I'd love to be an ACL doctor around here because everybody's got a torn ACL on Salem.
It's really common among young female athletes.
Yep. So that's going to give us a corner. Did that go off the goalkeeper, maybe?
I guess so. I thought
she
headed it out.
But it is going to be a corner kick with Sydney Priest, I believe, again taking the corner up in front of the net. Keeper comes out and does knock it away with her hands, but that was a... we were also commenting about the keeper is not very tall, but she does a good job. I mean, she can get off her feet and blocks the ball. So we were commenting about how... Because usually a lot of teams have tall players. You're tall, aren't you? What are you, 7'1"?
No. I'm actually a pretty short goalkeeper.
But you're able to your reaction time is what's critical, I guess.
That is the most critical part.
So Salem again down here with the attack, and Sawyer Ferguson gets it into TJ, and she does turn with the ball, and she's a great play by the keeper. the keeper came out and almost took it off Taryn's foot. It was a great job by the keeper and
It was a great save.
great rebound, but we just didn't have someone there to put it back in. I'm impressed with that keeper.
She really has brought it.
She's definitely done what she's supposed to do today.
Well, the last time we played Agnes Scott, they switched their keepers at halftime.
And I believe that's Ivy McIntyre,
Yeah,
number 0.
they've kept Ivy in the entire game.
We apologize for not saying her name because we couldn't see her number before, but she's from Hillgrove High School in Marietta, Georgia, sophomore keeper. So she's been doing a tremendous job. Again, the Spirit down at this end of the field trying to put together an attack for a goal, but they just can't penetrate the midfield for Agnes Scott. And Taylor Norman is all over the ball. There's a kick down the corner for. Ooh, that was a dangerous play, but the keeper came out, and the who was that for Salem?
Jordan Lanier.
Jordan Lanier left her feet, had her foot on the ball, but that keeper never backed down. That takes a lot of guts, I think, to to step in there. And that was a great play by the keeper by McIntyre. So there's a reason why Salem has no goals. It's because the keeper and midfield is doing a great job. So 41 minutes to play here, and Agnes Scott now on the attack, but it's cleared back out midfield. And looks like Taylor, was that Taylor Norman?
It was Mojica that cleared it up.
Okay. Ball is turned at midfield, coming back. Now it's taken back by number 12 for Agnes Scott. They do call a foul against Salem, so it'll be a free kick. It looks like number 9. And I know her name is Sierra, and her name is Mika Shion. I have no idea how to say that name.
Oh.
She is from Carrollton, Georgia. Here goes the free kick, headed back out by Salem. Sierra kicks it back down in front of the net. It is headed the wrong direction by Salem. Cleared for a nice shot on the net by, that was a little bit wide. That was probably the closest they've come to score. It was not a lot of power on that ball, but it was well placed. Goal kick comes out to midfield, controlled by Agnes Scott. They turn it back up the other direction, going down to the Never Never Land on the far right side of the field that we cannot see. Salem trying to bring the ball back up. Looks like it was out of bounds, and it's going to be throw in for Agnes Scott, number 23.
Which is Meklit Tilahun.
See, I'll let you do the name. She's from Ethiopia. Okay. Yeah, you can say her name, okay. You did a great job on that.
It was a guess.
So we're down in the corner with the ball again beyond our line of sight. Our photographer, Mr. Charlie Hilton, is standing in front of us taking some, I hope he's taking some great pictures. Now, you don't need to point the camera this way. We don't want to break the camera. He is going to take a picture. No, he didn't.
Oh.
So I think he has some pictures of you than last game. He was here taking pictures. Sawyer Ferguson trying to turn that ball up, and it does go out of bounds. Number 9 for Sierra kicks it out for Agnes Scott. Throw in
By Summer Rich.
Summer Rich. Kicks it, or throws it in to Sawyer Ferguson. There's a push in the back. Jordan Lanier penalty was not called, so Salem sends it down out of bounds in the far right corner. Throw in for Agnes Scott. 38 minutes and 50 seconds. That is a former, I covered his daughter in high school softball, and now she plays here for
was that Bree?
Brianna
Yeah.
Crumley. Mm-hmm.
She is in my Spanish class.
Is she? Here's a good opportunity for a goal. Great play by Sierra. they're going to call, I believe, a free kick coming from right in front of us here around the 18-yard line. And it's going to be number 21, Canepa.
Yeah, the Agnes Scott fans were not pleased with that call.
That was a 50-50 call. So Canepa lines up for the free kick. Trying to get the... got a two-person wall here in front of her, but I'm sure she's going to go around the right side and try to hook it in.
And that she did.
Ooh.
Great save by the keeper.
I'm really impressed with that keeper. I mean, she's got her eyes on the ball, and that one went off her hands. It'll be a corner kick for Sydney Priest from the left side. I think it's about time one of these corner kicks went in. What do you think? We've had 4 or 5 of them. we need to get.
That's always been our biggest problem, is not finishing on corner kicks where you should finish.
Up in the air in front of the net, header by Taylor Norman, bounces freely. Here goes Priest. We just can't get squared away and get enough on the ball to get it past that keeper. She's had quite a ball game, Ivy McIntyre. Ball comes right back down to our end of the field with number 7 is Summer Rich. She centers it. There's a header that goes straight up in the air and off the end line for a goal kick. I don't know if they're getting a little bit over anxious when the corner kicks come in or the ball's centered. I don't think we're focused on getting the ball in the net. It just seems like there's like you say, we're not finishing. So McIntyre with the goal kick. It's going to be controlled by Salem midfield. Mojica. Now it goes down the right side, taken away by. Well, it's taken away twice. Now it's back on Salem's possession. And it is out of bounds. Throw in coming this way for Salem College. 35 minutes, 44 seconds to go in the game. And it is a 0-0 score. Throw in for Salem is headed back out by number 15, I believe that was, or 18. Nice play by Sierra, and we do not know how to pronounce her last name. We apologize. Mika Shion, that's what we're going to say. Throw in again for Salem, and looks like that's going to be out of bounds with throw in going the other direction. That was.
I think it was a foul, actually.
Yeah, Sawyer Ferguson is going to get called for the, for the foul here. Sierra will take the free kick for Agnes Scott. It is cleared back out by Salem. Sawyer turns.
Jordan Lanier is taking it to the right corner.
Lanier centers, and it's headed back out by Agnes Scott. The ball stays down in the Salem end of the field. Lanier trying to put a move on that defender, and again, almost contact with the keeper. I think it's going to take a really hard shot to get it past this keeper. I mean, you're going to have to really drill it in the net, I think, because she has definitely got her eyes on the ball. And, of course, sometimes I know, and you notice as a keeper, your defender may get, or one of your teammates may block your view, and all of a sudden the ball goes right by you.
That usually is one of the biggest problems.
There we go with Sawyer. And she
shoots it just wide.
That was kind of like a change-up in baseball. She charged, then she stopped and did a little blooper trying to get it pop up over the keeper's head, but it was just a little bit wide. Go ahead.
She's only 3 goals away from 100.
Wow.
Her entire college.
Wow. She's definitely had her share of goals. So McIntyre will boot it out on a goal kick with the time remaining 33 minutes and about 20 seconds here in Salem College in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. With Richie Hutchins, this is Mike Pettaway from TriadSportsCoverage.com bringing you live coverage of Salem College athletics. And the ball is controlled again down in there's some contact on the far side. Ball goes out. Throw in is going to be Agnes Scott's throw in. Looked like that was a lot of contact over there, but it's way too far for me to see. All I know is there was elbows flying. There's some more contact, but the ball is cleared back to this end with Sawyer with a header. And Taryn Johnson trying to get to the ball. Does kick it out of bounds. It goes. It's going to be a throw-in. I think Sawyer was trying to trick the referees, but it is going to be an Agnes throw-in. Stephanie Hicks, number 13, and Erin Ennis, number 21. And number 23 is McLip Tilahan. And again, the ball is controlled at the midfield by Salem. They turn it back up, trying to get it down further, but it is cleared back out by Agnes Scott. They kick it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in. Like Bucas with the ball, I believe that is 24.
Yes.
She's dribbling into center of the field. She does have a kind of a weak left-footed kick that's going to be controlled by Salem again. Summer Rich trying to turn, and she does, but the defender was standing right in her path. So now we have a 2-on-2, 2-on-3 for Agnes Scott. It's down in the right corner of the field, and it goes. I think he's pointing for a corner kick. Or no, I guess he's going to.
It is a goal kick.
Goal kick, yeah. I think he's pointing for a goal kick. So Salem's goal kick comes down around midfield. Headed out of bounds by Stephanie Hicks for Agnes Scott. But now Sawyer Ferguson has the ball for Salem. Taylor Norman trying to get it back upfield on the right side. Taken away by Agnes Scott, but again it's taken right back away by Salem. Oh, if that would have got through, it would have been a great shot for Bucas. Tell you, the Agnes defense is really, they're stepping right in front of our passes. They're playing a great defense down here, keeping that ball out of the box. I mean, every time we think someone's open and it just doesn't make it to the player. Okay, Sawyer with the ball. Nice pass out in the corner. Number 7. Summer Rich, and it is kicked out, so it'll be a throw-in for Agnes Scott right in front of us with 29 minutes and 20 seconds to play in a scoreless ball game so far. Nice save by Sawyer Ferguson, but the ball is cleared back out by Agnes Scott. A 1-on-4. Nice footwork. Oh.
Good save by Salem keeper Paige Ketchum.
She made a great dive and actually deflected the ball beyond the goal. It goes out on the end line. It'll be a corner kick for the Scotties. This may be their first corner kick of the ball game.
I'm almost positive it is their first.
And it's going to be number 14 taking the corner kick, Helen Somda from Athens, Georgia, Clark Central High School. So here's the kick, perfectly placed in front of it, but again, Salem was right there with the header to clear it back out. We have a whistle and must be a foul. The ball was clear down here when she blew the whistle. That's different. Way down by the end line, they're going to give a free kick to Salem.
It must have been a foul.
Had to have been something going on. There's a nice long kick beyond midfield.
Ooh.
Someone is on the ground
Number
for Salem.
11 for Agnes, Morgan Hull, seems to have...
Had a little contact with, was that Dillo?
It's Kylie Dillo.
I'm getting good at these names. And folks, if you haven't been to a game, we got about 5 blondes with ponytails that look exactly alike from my vantage point. So I just throw out a name, and sometimes it's right. So a free kick right at midfield for Salem. It's up in the air, waiting for somebody to... the rebound goes off to Agnes. They're going to call a push on Heather Huffman. Too much of her arm on her back. So you don't, of course, being a goalkeeper, you don't get to foul anybody. You can't get out pushing.
Well, I mean, I can foul people as long as I'm going for the ball.
Oh, okay.
But if I'm not going for the ball, then I do get in some trouble.
So a free kick from, again, midfield heading the other direction for, looks like that is Sierra with the free kick.
Headed out by Natalie Mojica.
Now Salem's Sawyer Ferguson bringing the ball down the right side. She cuts back to the left, trying to get it to the center of the field, and there's a great ball for Summer Rich. She's going to outrun the defender. Great crossover. Oh, that's going to be a corner kick.
Yep. It ricocheted off of number 23, McLeet Tilahun.
Summer Rich has some pretty good speed. I mean, she started behind that defender and actually outran her and got to the ball. But another Sydney Priest corner kick.
And Salem has subbed Jordan Lanier in for Taryn Johnson.
It's the team set and the corner kick by Sydney Priest. Oh, that's going to be a goal kick. A lot of activity on the other side of the net. We couldn't really see. I know there was a lot of bodies being hitting each other on the other side and on the ground, but they do say it went out on a Salem player. So that will create another goal kick situation for Salem, for Agnes Scott. Ivy McIntyre kicks it to the left side, and it's going to be controlled by Agnes Scott, but now it bounces back and forth between Salem and Agnes Scott. Nice pass down the right side. Morgan Hole. Now it's taken away by Huffman. Heather kicks it down to Bucas, midfield. She loses it. Now it's taken back away by Salem. Bounces off Bucas' leg on the other side and rolls freely in the... Now it's taken back by Salem, and it's kicked right on top of the tent for the public address announcer. Again, we have no score, and we only have 24 minutes to play in this ball game. But with no score, it's still anybody's game. Salem has had plenty of opportunities to score, but they just haven't been able to finish. And I know that's probably getting on Coach Callahan's nerves a little bit. Heather Huffman's going to take that back up to this. Now she kicks it toward there's one over the back. Number 19 got over
Rachel Dodson.
And she went up over Jordan Lanier. So a free kick from about 25, maybe 30 yards out, straight on to the goal.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually played club soccer with Rachel Dodson, the
Oh,
one
really?
that just fouled her. Yes.
Oh, okay. So the free kick will be taken by number 21, Canapa, and it goes over the goal. So the opportunities that we've had just haven't worked out for us. Keeper's been playing, I think, tremendous in the net for Agnes Scott. In their midfield, even though they have the ball's been played a lot in our end of the field, they've actually done a good job of not giving up an easy goal. Taylor Norman with a header. And Sawyer does keep it in our end of the field. Buca's trying to turn it back up in the sideline. She does. She outruns the defender, and it rolls across the end line, and it's going to be a goal kick. Another opportunity to get that ball in front of the net, but just didn't do it. So Ivy McIntyre, she's been busy today.
She really has.
She's going to be tired tonight. Marietta, Georgia, sophomore. So the goal kick comes down around midfield, headed back by, I think that was Taylor Norman. Heather Huffman takes. Oh, don't. That was or handball wasn't called. Taylor Norman goes on the ground. She's pushed down accidentally. And that was another opportunity blown by the Salem Spirits. That was, I almost think if had been Heather, I would have driven right into the net with the ball. There was nobody in front of her.
That would have probably been the best bet.
Just dribble right up to the goalie and just take a hard shot. But she, being unselfish, she centered it, and there was just two defenders standing there, and that was not going to work. Summer Rich with the ball. Oh, they let the ball stop in the ground. No one went after it. They were looking at it, and the defender said, "If you don't want it, I'll take it." And she kicked it. So Summer Rich again has the ball, centers it, but it's booted back down the field by Agnes Scott. The header is missed. Summer Rich again, fancy footwork, brings the ball up for Mojica. Now Summer Rich with an open shot right to the center in the box, but it is headed back out. And the ball's staying down on Salem's end of the field, but they again clear it out for Agnes Scott. Helen Somda. Nice crossing pass, number 11 in the corner, Morgan Hole. There's a great shot on the goal, but it is scooped up by Paige Ketchum.
This is definitely not something I expected to see today.
A lot different. 19 minutes and 50 seconds. Sawyer Ferguson with a header at midfield. Taylor Norman brings it down the field. Nice footwork. But again, they just don't make. They're not making very sharp passes to the. Now, Summer Ritz again trying to take control at midfield. Breakaway. Now the keeper comes out. That keeper is fearless. But again, it was Sawyer was breaking for the goal, but the pass was a little bit ahead of her, and the keeper came out almost to the 18-yard line and jumped on it. But again, the ball came loose for just a split second, and no one was there to kick the rebound. Now Mojica, left foot, takes it back to the right, centers it in for almost looked like a little contact in the box, no call. But again, that's going to be controlled by Salem down at the other end of the field. Mojica maintains control. Little kick up to Summer Ritz. Now that's going to... Sawyer tries to take it in. Summer Ritz steals a rebound kick. Centers it for Taylor Norman. Taylor with a left-footed shot blocked. She hits the ground. Again, that kick's going to be controlled at midfield by Salem. This is going to be a one goal ball game, I think. Richie, I think it's going to, whoever scores one goal is probably going to win.
That's what I'm thinking too, unless it goes to penalty kicks at the end, which those are never fun.
Those are, particularly if you're a keeper, right?
Oh yeah,
all the pressure in the world on you. Heather Huffman keeps the ball this end of the field, but again, it's taken away by Agnes. Again, Summer Rich takes it at midfield. She cannot turn on the ball, and I think it's Canepa for Salem to Sawyer Ferguson. She makes a turn. Ball is taken away again by good defense on part of Agnes Scott. Agnes Scott on the attack, but number 11 down in the right corner is going to go across the end line. So 17 minutes to go, and I guess depending on your point of view, this has been either a boring game or a great game. I think it's probably a little bit of a shock to some of the local fans, thinking that Salem would at least score one goal.
Well, Taryn Johnson's back in for Brooke Bucas, and Taryn usually does score often, so maybe something will change.
Let's maybe hope she's the good omen and we'll go out and score.
Let's hope.
Now we got another chance for Salem, but it is again taken away by Agnes Scott. Pass down the corner, Morgan Hole with the ball, number 11 for Agnes Scott. She tries to turn the ball back in, but it is knocked out. And it'll be a throw-in for Agnes Scott. Summer Rich trying to clear it out for Salem. There's a shot easily hauled in by Paige Ketchum. Now, does the sun bother you at one end or the other of the field here sometimes? Depending on the time of day, I guess we have the game.
Well, I know between 4 and 6, the sun. If you're on that side of the field, the sun's awful.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why Salem had this side of the field first. They picked this side because of the sun.
Hoping to score something when they had the sun in the
Yeah,
other
and they
goal.
were hoping the sun would go back behind the trees like it has. So kind of worked in our favor.
So we have a throw-in coming to Salem's end of the field. Taylor Norman on the other side will again get a throw-in. The ball was kicked out by Agnes Scott player. Norman's throw-in goes to Sawyer Ferguson. Summer Rich over. Again, it's passes just aren't getting to the right. There's a foul called against Agnes Scott player, which is it's going to give Salem a free kick with like Canepa taking a free kick. Again, it's right to the keeper. She makes one
Right
step,
to her.
comes up off the ground, and sometimes I know I've seen keepers misjudge, and the ball will either bounce in front of them, go over their head for a score, or it just goes over their head.
Yeah, that usually does happen.
But this keeper's been right, spot on with her game today. She's kept the net clean today for her teammates. There's another chance for Salem. Taryn Johnson trying to get a breakaway shot, but the ball is kicked out by Agnes Scott. They have a substitute coming in. Number 21 is going to be going out and number 11 for Agnes Scott. And number 20 is coming in. That would be Stacy Piera.
And number 12
Number
for
12,
the
Sarah Fisher.
Scotties.
There's a throw in. Taryn Johnson in front of the net. Rebound. There it is. There's
And a goal for Brooke Bucas.
See, we've been talking about that rebound, that
Yep.
keeper. She lets the ball bounce a lot, and
She lets it bounce. It's gonna happen
and
eventually.
That was enough steam on the ball that it came out of her hand, and Bucas was right there waiting. That's what we've been trying to Of course, we can't coach from over here, but we're trying to tell them when that ball bounces loose in front of the net, jump all over it. And that was a great goal by Brooke Bucas.
Well, we may not be able to coach from over here. I know my mom is coaching from down the sideline.
So we have 13 minutes and 45 seconds, and the Spirits have finally broken on the scoreboard with their only goal of the game so far. You had to figure after so many close shots that, percentages are going to be in your favor. One of them is going to get by the keeper, and that was just keeper made a great play. Just unfortunate that when it bounced out, that Brooke was right there waiting to put her foot on it, and that was a great goal. So, and we'll see how that affects the attitude and the enthusiasm of both teams. It picks up Salem, and maybe a little bit of a letdown for Agnes Scott because they played such a great game up to this point, keeping the game scoreless, and sometimes that first goal can either turn you way up or turn you way down, I guess, depending on how they react.
That is very true. Also, a 1-0 or a 2-0 lead is a very dangerous lead because you feel like you have enough cushion to kind of be lax, but you don't.
Again, Salem controls the ball from midfield, but taken back over by Agnes Scott. Not able to turn on the ball and kicks it toward the sideline. It's controlled again by Salem. Another shot on the net.
It's another goal by Sawyer Ferguson.
Sawyer Ferguson from the 18. I think she was right on the line, wasn't she, when she just turned that left foot and drilled it in.
Yep.
We talked about once you score a goal, Salem, it's kind of like you open floodgates,
Now she has 98 goals in the 4 years she's been here now.
So the second goal within 1 minute for Salem. The Agnes Scott team are huddling here down on their end of the field, trying to regroup and not let that affect them, because up till now they've played just as well as Salem has, and they've certainly held their own against the Spirits. But these two quick goals, now you got a 2-goal cushion, so it's a little bit better. You feel a little bit more at ease. But
yeah, but let's hope they can get another one. Agnes is stacking the front now.
They're sending everybody. Yep, there's one headed toward the front of the goal, headed by none other than
Sydney Priest.
Sydney Priest was down in front of the net helping Paige catch him, and she did head it out back on the attack. But Sawyer Ferguson turns and runs over a defender, and it's called a foul against the defender. So that was a questionable call, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a referee either. But Salem will get a free kick by Canepa. It's going to bounce, and keeper fields it on one bounce. Those are a dangerous kind, because you never know if they're going to take another real high hop. And you try to judge it, and she did a great job of standing right where she had to be. Ball is again being batted around on the Salem end of the field. Looks like there's a attempt by Taylor Norman, and Taryn Johnson had an easy open net, and
she missed it on the rebound.
A little too wide.
Just a little bit wide to the left. She probably she knows that was going to be an easy goal, but it's going to keep the score at 2-0 with 11 minutes to play in the ball game. McIntyre with the goal kick, and they stop play for some reason. I think they're making substitutes.
Yes. Casey McDaniel is now in for Jordan. No, not Jordan. I don't know who Casey subbed for, but she's now in the game.
Wouldn't be Dillo or Lanier, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
There's a header that keeps the ball down at Salem's end again. Sawyer Ferguson and Taryn Johnson looking for. There's a shot open for Taylor Norman. Left-footed shot, just missed the corner post.
Wide.
Just wide by just a couple inches. that was another golden opportunity because she had wide, the net was right in her sight, and she just pulled it a little bit, left-footed kick. So Miss McIntyre gets another goal kick with the Salem Spirits on top 2-0 in a Great South Athletic Conference matchup. Taryn Johnson controls that. Sarah Ferguson's trying to outrun the defender from Agnes Scott. Now Agnes Scott bringing the ball down the right side. And great play by Canepa. Is it Canepa?
Yeah.
Wow, this is getting good.
That one's a hard one to pronounce.
Yeah, it is. Looks like there's going to be a line up like a corner kick. Or a throw in from the corner. Norman brings it out to Taryn Johnson at midfield. Taryn tries to turn. Good defense by number 19,
Rachel
Dodson, the one you played club ball with, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere. So Sawyer Ferguson tried to turn with the ball, but it's knocked out by Agnes Scott. Throw in for Salem. There's a push in the back by number 12, and the referee goes over and has a... Well, that's interesting. She had to give the ball to Agnes Scott. So a foul must have been on number 2, Jordan Lanier. And the free kick. It's going to be headed back this way with Salem controlling it at midfield. They're going to call a foul against Agnes Scott. Right at the midfield line. Free kick for Salem. And one of our favorite players, Morgan Canepa, will be taking the kick. They're all my favorite players. So the free kick will be heading toward the Salem goal with Taylor Norman missed her header, but Sawyer Ferguson was there to pick up the ball. They're not fighting, but they're trying to win control, and it's headed back the other direction. But Heather Huffman steps up and boots it this direction for Taylor Norman. There's a pass intended for Taryn Johnson, and Casey McDaniel. McDaniel kicks it in for Taryn Johnson. McDaniel fights for the ball on the opposite side of the field, kicks it off a Agnes Scott player, rolls out of bounds. We have a horn blow for another substitution. Looks like, is that Lanier going out, number 2?
Yep, and Summer Rich is taking her place.
Summer Rich is coming back on the field, number 7. Morgan, that was Sawyer Ferguson hitting the ground again. Heather Huffman keeping the ball at this end of the field. Tamron Johnson, and here comes Taylor Norman. That's going to go off it's going to be a corner kick. Going to be a corner kick. Went off the defender,
Yes,
I think.
it did.
She was blocking the kick, and it had to go off her foot.
But, we're all guilty of not agreeing with the call.
A referee once told me that I asked him about a call of a ball and strike. He said it was a strike, and that was the right call. You know why? I says, why? He says, because I called it. That's why if the referee calls it, it's right.
I can sympathize with referees. I am a referee, so I can sympathize.
There's a corner kick was blown. The ball was blown dead because of something going on in the box. I don't know if they call a foul or looks like there's going to be a free kick by the keeper. Maybe a lot of pushing around in the right out in front of the net. We only have 5:25 to go in the ball game. 2-0 Salem on top. Again, the ball's being batted around at midfield with Agnes Scott trying to get it across the midfield line. They do get a long kick down the corner, but Heather Huffman runs it down. And we'll clear it back out. Looks like that's it's going to be cleared up to midfield. They're behind the fans again. We can't really see the action, but I know it's a throw-in for Agnes Scott. And the throw-in is taken by Salem, and they clear it out for Taryn Johnson. Contact made midfield. I think Taryn's going to be called for...
Yep, Taryn was called for a foul.
She was leaning when she jumped, and the result was the defender was on the ground. So another good call by the referees, and a free kick for Agnes Scott. It's going to be headed back this way by Salem. Sawyer Ferguson takes possession at midfield, out to Summer Rich. Summer Rich trying to save it from going out, but it's taken away by Agnes Scott. We're down to 3:59 and counting in the ball game, 2-0 Salem. Ball is going down in our favorite corner. I think it went out of bounds. Probably a throw-in for Agnes Scott.
It is a throw-in for Agnes Scott.
So you can see through those people.
The ref put her hand up.
That's right, because you said you were a ref, so you know all the signals too, right?
There'll be another throw for Agnes.
Do you ref locally here for challenge teams or whatever, local teams?
No, I refed back home.
Oh, back home, okay.
But I hope to ref here.
I suppose you got to have pretty thick skin to be a referee sometimes, too.
Sometimes. I usually ref like 9 and 8-year-olds.
Oh.
So.
They haven't quite got the attitude yet.
Not yet, but some of them do, actually.
Yeah. So the Salem again on the attack. It's kicked too far forward. It's going to go out of bounds. Casey McDaniel was trying to bring the ball, trying to catch that pass down the right sideline, but it did. Now she's going to be coming out of the ball game, and we got a substitute, and it's number.
Oh, it's number 14, Liz Spentana.
Liz Spentana, and she. I talked to her dad before the game. She's from Harvard, Massachusetts. So they came a long ways to be here for senior day. She's also one of the captains on the team.
Yep.
There goes another chance by Sawyer Ferguson. I think she got a little bit over anxious on that. She didn't quite get set and put anything behind that. So another save for Ivy McIntyre. Her kick is going to come down at midfield, controlled by Salem. Brooke Bucas is back on the field. That was a header by Brooke, but now the ball heads back the other direction. It's going to be plenty of time for Salem to recover and bring it back this way with Mojica at midfield trying to get ahead on it, but looks like Taylor Norman. You know, Taylor Norman is all over the field.
That's what I was going to say. Her and Natalie, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Every time the ball gets headed or something, it's them.
They're very, very active, very good players.
Yep, Salem's going to miss them next year.
Oh, yeah. .159 to go, and the clock has stopped for some reason.
They have subbed, and it was a lot of subs.
So they just decided to stop the clock.
Yeah. So Shelby Alfaro and Cassie Smoot are now on the field.
And Lexi Clevenger, number 4, whose mom was here at halftime talking about her.
And also Jasmine. Her last name is escaping me. Romero Mendieta.
She's from Winston-Salem, a local player. Header goes out of bounds. So Jay is letting a lot of his subs get some playing time. With a 2-0 lead and a minute 20 to go, he probably feels pretty comfortable with the score. Number 27 is Cassie Smoot back on. She's on the field for Salem. Ball again disappears in the right corner. One minute to play here on senior day at Salem College. And the temperature has gone down a little bit. It's a little chilly here in the shade.
Yes, it has gotten a bit chilly.
But it looks like your Salem Spirits are going to pull out another win, another shutout for Salem.
If I'm not mistaken, this win means that we are the regular season champs.
Because you'll be 3-0, and you got to play is it Georgia Wesleyan? Are they in the conference?
We've already played them.
Have you played them twice?
Yes.
So who else do you play twice? You got to play someone else.
We've played Wesleyan twice as well. This is the second time we played AGNES twice.
So will the record be 4-0 after today in the conference?
Yes.
So that would be the end of the conference play, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we will be regular season champs.
You'll be regular season champs, and you'll get the number one seed in the tournament, I think. Is that how that works?
Yes.
Or a bye in the first round or whatever. Or maybe
I don't think it's a bye in the first round.
You only got 4 teams in the tournament, so. Well, that is going to wrap up the game with Salem College coming away with a 2-0 shutout win over Agnes Scott, and it was an entertaining game. I was really impressed with the goalkeeper from Agnes Scott because she was bombarded with with opportunities for us to score, and we talked about at halftime how Salem did not have any goals on the board, and that was very uncharacteristic of this team. And they scored 2 goals within 1 minute. After you played 90 minutes of soccer and you get your only 2 goals within 1 minute of play, so that will win the conference championship for Salem. They will be finishing up their season and getting ready for the postseason tournament, which will be taking place, I believe, November the 8th and 9th. I believe it is, Richie. Don't you think? 7th, 8th, or 9th, or something like that.
Yeah, it's around that time.
They'll be playing the conference tournament and trying to move on to the NCAA tournament, which will be pretty exciting. So we're going to sign off, and we want to say thanks to Richie Hutchins, one of the goalkeepers that will be, I'm sure, seeing a lot of action over the next few years on this field.
I hope
as a keeper. And I want to say thank you for coming over and helping us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You did a great job of providing expert commentary, helping me look not quite as stupid as I am for soccer.
You're not stupid. You actually did. You actually know a lot more than you give yourself credit for.
Well, you kind of pick up on some of these terms, but anyway, we had fun today, and I want to thank everyone for joining us here from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Our broadcasts are brought to you by Bibbs Downtown in Winston-Salem. You know what Bibbs Downtown is? You ever been there?
Mm-mm.
It's a barbecue restaurant that if you ever go, you won't want to leave again. So it's a great
place. Well, maybe my parents and I will check that out tonight.
Check it out. They have great barbecue, and they sponsor our broadcast of sports on the air, so we want to thank them. And again, we appreciate the folks coming up to us who said they've listened to our broadcast from as far away as Florida and on the East Coast of North Carolina. And that's kind of why we do this, so the parents who live far away, they can hear their games of their kids, and it gives them an opportunity to know what's going on. So, again, the final score is 2-0. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on the air for some postseason tournament action, but stay tuned on our website at triadsportscoverage.com for the latest schedule. So, for Richie Hutchins, this is Mike Pettaway saying thank you and be safe.